The 1970 Cambodian coup d'état marked a significant shift in Cambodia's political landscape, bringing an end to Prince Norodom Sihanouk's reign as chief of state and setting the stage for the Khmer Republic. The coup, orchestrated by Prime Minister Lon Nol with the support of his political ally Sirik Watak, was executed through a parliamentary vote on March 18, 1970, rather than a direct military takeover. This event not only reshaped Cambodia's government, but also escalated the country's involvement in the Vietnam War, leading to increased instability and, eventually, the Cambodian Civil War. Background: Cambodia under Sihanouk. Following Cambodia's independence from France in 1953, Prince Norodom Sihanouk established the Sangkum political movement, effectively consolidating power and suppressing opposition. By 1960, after the death of his father, King Norodom Suramurat, Sihanouk amended the constitution to secure his position as chief of state indefinitely. While Queen Sisawath Kosamak remained a ceremonial figure, Sihanouk wielded absolute political authority. Sihanouk maintained his grip on power through political maneuvering, balancing both leftist and rightist elements in Cambodian politics. He used nationalist rhetoric to appease the right, while simultaneously adopting socialist policies to marginalize the growing Cambodian communist movement, which he labeled the Khmer Rouge, or Red Khmers. However, Cambodia's economy faced serious challenges due to corruption and rice smuggling. The situation worsened as the Vietnam War intensified, with North Vietnamese forces using Cambodian territory for supply routes and bases. Sihanouk's policy of tolerating Viet Cong and North Vietnamese presence within Cambodia angered nationalist and military factions, particularly Lon Nol and Sirik Matak. Growing discontent within Cambodia's government. By 1969, frustration within Cambodia's government was growing. Lon Nol, a nationalist and staunch anti-communist, found Sihanouk's leniency towards North Vietnam unacceptable. Meanwhile, the liberal modernizers within the Sangkum, such as In Tam, also began opposing Sihanouk's increasingly authoritarian rule. The divide between Sihanouk's leftist foreign policies and Cambodia's growing right-wing nationalist movement became irreconcilable. At the same time, tensions escalated within the broader Indochina conflict. Sihanouk's secret deal with Hanoi, which allowed weapons shipments to the Viet Cong through the port of Sihanoukville in exchange for economic benefits, alienated Lon Nol and his supporters. By 1970, political and military figures in Cambodia had lost confidence in Sihanouk's leadership, paving the way for his ousting. The coup. March 1970. In early March 1970, while Sihanouk was on a diplomatic trip to France, the Soviet Union, and China, a wave of anti-Vietnamese protests erupted in Cambodia. Some historians suggest these demonstrations were orchestrated by Lon Nol and Sirik Matak to justify action against Sihanouk and the Vietnamese presence. On March 11, 1970, anti-communist demonstrators in Phnom Penh attacked the embassies of North Vietnam and the National Liberation Front of South Vietnam, the Viet Cong. The unrest spread, targeting Vietnamese businesses, churches, and homes. While Sihanouk may have initially supported the protests to pressure Hanoi, the violence spiraled out of control. On March 12, 1970, Sirik Matak canceled Cambodia's trade agreements with North Vietnam and closed the port of Sihanoukville to communist supplies. Shortly after, Lon Nol issued an ultimatum demanding that all North Vietnamese and Viet Cong forces leave Cambodia within 72 hours or face military action. By March 16th, tens of thousands of anti-Vietnamese demonstrators gathered outside Cambodia's National Assembly. On the same day, Colonel Manorin, Sihanouk's brother-in-law and security chief, attempted to crush the coup plot but was arrested by Lon Nol's forces before he could act. On March 17th, Sirik Matak allegedly forced Lon Nol at gunpoint to sign the coup documents, as Lon Nol initially hesitated to remove Sihanouk. The next day, March 18, 1970, Cambodia's National Assembly officially voted to remove Sihanouk from power, The vote was unanimous, solidifying the transition of power to Lon Nol, who declared a state of emergency. Aftermath: the birth of the Khmer Republic. Following the coup, Lon Nol assumed control as the head of government